Hi, my name is Yasmin Lee. I started my filmmaking journey, honestly, since I was a child because I always thought of things just like through images. Whenever I heard a song, I envisioned a music video. And whenever I saw music videos, I saw a story that could expand into something full length, into a complete narrative. But I didn't really know that it was a job until I was 16, whenever I was talking to someone that worked at the Nickelodeon Theater, and they were talking about how they did all this work for social media, etc. But then I finally checked out the theater and I watched Lady Bird, and that movie really made a lot of things click for me, where I'm like, so there can be directors that have different stories to be told, and I have a story to be told that is missing from Hollywood. So that's whenever I made my commitment to become a filmmaker. What inspires me most when it comes to filmmaking is the fact that people are able to document very important moments in history through a very honest lens, because it's their truth. Like, whatever the camera points at, that's what they see, and that's what we're experiencing as an audience. So it's a very realistic version of different accounts and different moments that people might sweep over. And there's a variety of perspectives that get pulled in when it comes to film. And being able to tell those stories lasts such a long time. Like, there was that film, Metropolis, that got lost because of the Nazi Germany burning the film, but people revived that film and showed true ideals that were underneath the belly of that time. So I feel like that's the most important thing when it comes to filmmaking, being able to have a story, have your own account of history, and being able to present that through film, and being able to convey those emotions so people can really hold something on to when they go home and they're thinking about what they just watched. It's such an everlasting effect, and that's what really inspires me when it comes to film. Whenever I made my very first movie, I was a junior in high school, and I was a part of the IB film program. And the title was Bait, and I knew that I wanted to talk about identity, those types of narratives always stuck with me. I knew I wanted to make a coming of age story because that was the A24 era, so I was like, yes, I need to be a part of this. And the story that I was telling was about consequences, because the guy was trying to be someone that he wasn't, and then he finally found out who he was, but he still had to deal with the consequences from his previous identity. So yeah, that experience was really challenging and let me know that I really did want to be a filmmaker, because my teacher at the time, she was not really encouraging. Whenever I would give her all these different script drafts, she wouldn't give me that many notes. The person I was working with also wasn't that cooperative. They prioritized journalism over filmmaking, even though we were part of the same program. So I had to do a lot of self-motivating during that time and really pull together a budget that did not exist and use the equipment that wasn't really there for me and just make something. And every time I watch that movie, I do cringe, but I am still very proud of the outcome, because I was able to do something whenever most people were not that active. They weren't actively encouraging, but I encouraged myself, and I got my story told on a screen, and that's all that really mattered. So I stuck with it. Technically, I just finished up 3 projects, and one is almost very close to being done. But I will talk about Giant Mama Talk, which was my latest animation film. And that film means a lot to me because I really was able to track how that story became a story, because I watched this interview where Kanye was talking to his mom, and they had this quote where it was when a giant looks into the mirror, it sees nothing. And it was one of the few times where something really poetic just did not click for me. I was like, I need to talk to someone about this. I don't understand what this is about. And then I talked to my mom, because we always have really deep conversations. And I was going through some things during that semester, and she was like, yeah, I feel like this quote is really for you. But then I talked to my friend about it after months of not being able to see her. I went down to Atlanta, checked on her, and she was like, if you are a giant, just be the giant. It doesn't matter if people mess with it or not, just be the giant. So I made a film to commemorate that conversation, commemorate my mom's support and being able to find strength, even though people might, not really like it, doesn't really matter, because you are there and you might not see yourself in the mirror, but you deserve to be there, So that was the process of making that into a concept. But filmmaking wise, I knew I wanted to challenge myself to like build more endurance whenever it came to stop motion animation. And I wanted to get a little bit more creative whenever it came to like the drawings that I used and photographed, so I could do like, you know, the frame by frame situation. And that was pretty successful. I even made like these hand paper dolls made out of my own hands and had it typing on a keyboard. So that was a really fun challenge. So just like always trying to like up the ante on different things whenever I focus on my creative process. I knew I wanted to work on drawing, stop motion, and being able to convey a somewhat loose narrative. It has a beginning, middle, and end, but it's just still really conceptual throughout the whole story. So just wanted to challenge myself with that. So I found out about the Yale program through Lee Smith, and whenever he told me about it, he was just like, you need to sign up for this. The deadline's coming in close, but you should definitely apply. And I never thought about Yale being in my future, but of course I'm not gonna say no whenever it's like at my front door. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go. So that's how I applied to it, just because I heard about it and someone said this is for you, and I didn't want to deny it. I was like, yeah, this is for me. If Yale's my future, let's do it. And thankfully enough, like Yale is in my very near future because I got accepted into their drama program. And what attracted me to their program was not only because of the name, because you know, Yale's a big name, but I really was attracted to the fact that like they seemed very open-ended about who could apply and wanted you to genuinely just bring what you have and build on those skills. And I have a filmic background, and it sounds like it's going to be more of a theatrical situation with like how they're gonna approach directing, but I'm very excited because it's very, like for me, in my experience, it's been very rare since I've been able to like have a class that's directly about directing and finding your style and your voice as a director. And I really need to develop those technical skills. And it sounds like that program is perfect for that. So that's why I'm very excited to attend and very excited to be able to just be there. Currently, 22-year-old me in the flesh. I just graduated from Wofford College. I have my BA. And I'm going into the Yale program, and I'm gonna be a PA this fall on my first film set, so that's really exciting. But in 5 years, by the time I'm 27, I'm very, very hopeful that I'll be on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, and that I've already met like a lot of the people that inspire me and their stories that like really energize me to keep doing what I'm doing. I hope by that time that like I frequent to, you know, the West Coast and maybe even making my own film by that time. And I hope that if I do make my own film by that time, that it has a budget over 10 million. So that's what I really do plan for myself in 5 years. I hope that that happens and that the film inspires other young Black girls who are just weird and also amazing humans. That's what I want to do in 5 years.